What's up, guys? Geeks of the West here. While you're listening to this, you can go ahead and click out of the browser. It's just going to be like a little podcast, just some audio if you don't want to stare at my logo. So go ahead and just kind of scroll through YouTube or do whatever it is that you do, which you probably, this is probably what you do even if there was a video. So internet gaming is not as addictive as gambling, a study finds. And this study was taken from Oxford University, and it suggests that the mere act of playing internet games is not as addictive as compared to gambling. As defined by the American Psychiatric Association, APA, the said research was considered to be the first of its kind and has tried to measure the scale of gaming addiction to the general population with the use of symptoms of internet gaming disorder as the basis of the study. Researchers from University's Oxford Internet Institute was found to have nationally asked a number of representative samples of men and women in 4 countries. The respondents were then asked how they felt after gaming used the APA checklist of health symptoms. So, essentially, what the article says is that gambling is more addictive than online gaming, essentially. That's pretty much what it says. You can go ahead and read through the article. I will have it in the description box below. So the interesting thing about that is I don't think that would be much of a surprise for anybody. And the reason I say that is simply because, well, here's the difference between gambling and online gaming. So when you gamble, there's a lot more risk involved. And what happens when there's risk involved? Well, you get a dopamine rush to your brain. It's basic science, biology. Neuroscientists have known this for quite a while. Dopamine's the same drug. It's basically part of your pleasure senses. Dopamine is released in your brain when you're doing something that you enjoy. There's lots of different... An addiction, pretty much, it gives you a constant dopamine rush, non-stop, like, it's really exciting. There's certain disorders or certain addictions that can numb you emotionally because you're so high on dopamine, or because only a certain activity gives you dopamine. For example, if you have sex with your girlfriend or your wife, you get a little dopamine rush, right? But if you have a girlfriend, a partner, and you watch porn at the same time, the thing about porn is it constantly pleasures your senses more often than not because you have such a variety. You have more of a variety of women to look at than you did or than your ancestors did back then. Your ancestors maybe slept with 3 to 5 people, but you're watching internet pornography and you have just pages and pages of women with different thumbnails, different types of bodies. You have porn for every type of fetish that you may have, for every type of standard that you may have. Small breasts, big breasts, medium breasts, perky, saggy. Everything from areolas to hair color to body shape, booty. How tall they are, skin color. Eye color, how smooth their skin is, their age, what environment, and then of course, even with those genes, the amount of combinations that you have that create different specimens, and not, how pretty the porn star looks. So, being with your original partner kind of isn't as satisfying as the addiction to pornography, or having pornography. Anyway, this video isn't about porn, so I need to go back on topic. So, when you gamble, there's so much risk there, and it really just releases so much dopamine compared to online gaming. Because when you're online gaming, there's really not that much of a risk. I mean, you have stats and whatnot, but when you're gambling, you have the potential to lose money, you have the potential to look like a fucking idiot and ruin your social life. And you just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, to be fair, you don't know what's going to happen when you play games online, But, like I said, the major difference is financial risk, the ability to lose all your money, which makes you nervous, or the ability to gain a shit ton of money. And of course, having wealth is an addiction within itself. Trust me, I know, I'm a capitalist. I love capitalism. I like the idea of growing your wealth. Wealth and power can be addicting. We are humans. It's natural. It's not necessarily an evil thing. I'm assuming that this is the beginning of the experiment, that conclusion, not that conclusion, that theory or that hypothesis I just came up with, that educated guess I came up with. You assume that there's more risk with gambling, so you want to test it. You want to go out and poll people. So this really should be just the beginning of the test, is you take a poll to find out whether or not people are more addicted to gambling as opposed to online gaming, and then of course you go out and test it in other measures as well. So you get something, you have a theory, you use a little bit of logic on what you know to predict what the outcome will be, the hypothesis or the theory, and then you go out and test it. So polling data that will definitely support your hypothesis if that's what they found, and then of course you want to test it with people that are there, college students, staff, and volunteers that aren't students or staff that, work out in the everyday world. Divide them up into groups or whatnot, and definitely test their reactions, how much dopamine is released into their brain, and the patterns that they exhibit, or the characteristics that they exhibit when they either play online games or when they gamble. Obviously, I'm no scientist, I have no degree in science, but that's just what I've learned from going through high school and taking some college classes and my real world experience and reading enough. So it's something I would expect, of course, but the science isn't sound. Need more studies. Is this something that I'm interested in? I don't know. I thought it was interesting enough to go ahead and make a video about it and talk about it. This is Geeks of the West. About to sign out. So tell me what you guys think. Does it make sense that gambling is more addictive than online gaming, or would you assume that online gaming would be more addictive than gambling? And do you agree with the reasons that I said gambling would be more addictive than online gaming? I'm interested in reading what you guys think in the comment section below. Have a good one. Geeks of the West signing out.